of creativity and hopefully teach you something about D&D in the process. 2018 is going to be a big year for us, and we have a lot of cool stuff planned, but in true Tabletop Terrors fashion, I think we should just discuss it with each other, because a lot of people don't know that James and I don't see each other much throughout the week. So when we work on Tabletop Terrors, it's here on Sundays from 3 to 6, and we might message each other back and forth, but
yeah.
So we have some ideas, and we're going to talk through, but one of the main things we're focusing on in 2018 is just going back and forth with you, really engaging with the audience and talking more and making it more of a conversation. So we're going to involve you in this process. I am going to do my best to make sure this is streaming and working, and that I pull up the chat. Hey, what's going on? Two Guys T and D&D is here. BH Hopper, hello.
You should stop that.
Oh yeah, I'm going to stop.
Watching ourselves.
Yep.
Nope, you screwed it up.
So, let's talk about what is coming in 2018. Some things that we have finished already and some things that we have in the works. One of the things is Prep Deconstructed. What is Prep Deconstructed? It is like short comic booky prep materials that you're going to have in PDF format.
Yeah.
Just taking the stuff that we talk about here and making it as something you can use at your actual table.
Yeah. Some of you may have seen, Tim posted, if you haven't, the cover of what the first one's going to be, Pits of the Ceaseless Void. Sorry, Pits of the Ceaseless Void. I'm a little sick, so pronunciation is not my strong suit today. But it's very cool. He posted it a while back, I want to say, on the Tabletop Terrors Facebook page, and then shared that over to the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group if you're not part of that. It looks very cool. Alexander Kostic is doing the art, I believe, and he's really knocking it out of the park. It's amazing. So that's the first one we're working on. We hope to give you details of how you can get your hands on that at the end of the month and beyond. So that's one of the things. Prep Deconstructed is something we hope to come out with fairly regularly. When we started Absolute Tabletop, our plan was to really release a lot of stuff, like not quickly, but just kind of always be churning stuff out. But then we kind of got into more of the niche of, well, we like this longer form stuff. You know, the 60 or some odd pages of Oath of the Frozen King at that, 10-point font or whatever it is great. But it takes a couple months to get it at that level of polish, as well as the artists. You know, the thing that held us up the most, because we had a lot of votes say Oath of the Frozen King written, was that, you know, people need time to draw this stuff. Draw or create or edit, or not edit, but like design, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, and we go back and forth with sketches and stuff like that.
So, hopefully Prep Deconstructed, based on sort of the quickness and the sort of being on the same level as Alexander that we are, Prep Deconstructed is hopefully going to be a little more common, and it's a bit shorter. So, you know, hopefully we're going to get more of those out, rather than, all right, guys, in 6 months, you know, you'll get another book from us.
Right, and it's bite-sized, comic book style, and when I say that, it's mostly the art and presentation, just stuff that you can use at your table to run an adventure that night. It's just like quicker stuff, and it's more fun for us to write because it's not set in Dragon Grid. You can just go nuts with it. We're not so burdened with, okay, what's the tone? Does this match the style of the world?
Exactly.
What's the flavor? It's like, cool heavy metal stuff that's just wacky.
It's a different format, but it is very reminiscent of, you know, the things that worked in the Adventure Kit. We absolutely are going to come out with more Adventure Kits, but these are like Adventure Kits light that we can come out with more quickly. And I don't know, they're going to sort of fit side by side, you know. To some degree, a lot of the stuff will be interchangeable.
Yes.
So I think that'll be really cool.
So let's do some more shout-outs, because we've had a couple of people. So, DBDM, he says, I should get a hello as well. You got it? DBDM. Jose Soto, hello, man. What's going on? Welcome to the chat.
Okay, so Tim's doing the chat today. I usually do it, but I didn't want to get sick all over my computer.
He's a little sick, and he doesn't have his Surface.
I thought that said best Craig. I believe it says Brett Craig.
It does.
It's like, not only do we have the best Craig here, we have the second best Craig, but his name is just Brett.
And then B Hopper 2 B-Hopper2 says, long-time listener, first-time chatter. Welcome.
Awesome.
It is great to have you as a part of the chat.
You know, the cool part about that, B-Hopper, is you only get to say it once, and you did. You did it at the right time.
You did it at the right time. And then Harry, he said, I'm doing a great job talking into my own mic so far, which is awesome. Micah People says, it looks amazing. He's hopefully talking about Prep Deconstructed. Shields of War is here. What's up, everyone?
Whoa, chat updated. There was a lot more than it looked like.
So, what else is coming? Well, a ton of more videos.
At least one more.
One more than zero.
Two more. Maybe three more.
So the idea here is
4 more. That's what Dwight does in the office when he's wasting time. How many times? How many people have to get hurt? 1 more. 2 more. Let me finish. 3, and he just continues to count up, and it's such a funny gag.
And so we have Tuesdays.
I'm gonna try to look up the comments on here.
Oh yeah, good luck with that.
I know.
Tuesdays are going to be when our flagship sort of tentpole videos come out, which are going to be James and I sitting here giving you advice, talking about stuff. That's going to be every Tuesday. But in between that, you're going to see a lot more short form content. I'm going to try to get a video up most days. So it's just going to be consistent. So if you're just looking for the kind of polished, well-produced stuff, that's going to be on Tuesdays. But if you're looking for car videos and offhand attack and things like that, check the channel multiple times during the week, because we're going to be posting just more frequently, just conversationally, because there's this awesome YouTuber, super successful dude. His name's Gary V, and one of the things that he's instilled in me these last couple of weeks is just put out content. Document the journey.
Is there any chat on?
In the app, the YouTube app.
Son of a bee, I don't have that. Okay, sorry, go ahead. I just felt like a dummy.
But it's about documenting the journey and just putting out, being more focused on just getting your thoughts out there. And I have so many ideas that crash and burn because I have them and I don't.
We do very often think, you know what, that's not good enough to release.
Right.
I mean, and it's content and it's a bunch, but maybe the sound was a little bad. Maybe we messed up the video a little bit. Maybe we said something that, wasn't perfect, or we found something out afterward that was like, oh, that rule wasn't quite right.
Right.
That doesn't happen too often, but very often we would kind of worry too much about what our content was, when I'm like, well, maybe somebody will find something in it. We should release that.
So we got a ton more videos. We've got a ton done in the hopper. So those are going to start posting.
I don't even know what those videos are anymore.
I know. It's going to be awesome. Guys. So starting Tuesday the 16th.
Those videos are going to be so 2017.
Starting Tuesday the 16th, you're going to see a new video from Tabletop Terrors essentially every Tuesday.
This is not
But then a bunch more in between there. So we have another comment. Luke the Goon says, look at that beard. Yes. Game Master Toolbox, glad you're back. Thank you. Lawworthy, I want Prep Deconstructed. So do we. Couple other cool things. We have been working on a webcomic.
Oh man, we have.
We've been working on a webcomic
I forgot about
called Roll to Stabilize. And so you are going to be seeing a monthly webcomic from Tabletop Terrors, working again with Alexander Kostic. And so it's going to be featuring me, James, Barker, and Matt of Absolute Tabletop. And you're going to be seeing one of those a month. Why one of those a month? Well, because that is the pace that we can keep right now.
Yeah.
That's true.
We've already got a shot first, yeah.
Dude, yeah. We've got the scripts for 5 done. The art for 2 are pretty much done. The first one's 100% finished. But you're going to see that this month, too. You're going to see the first Roll to Stabilize webcomic, which we're really excited about. And if there's more, if we do more in a year, it's a bonus. But we're committing to 12 over the course of the year.
Yeah.
Something else, we've always wanted to do an eNewsletter and like a newsletter and an email, and it's just, we've never found the identity. But I super feel like that cover to Prep Deconstructed just kind of clicked, and it made it like Tabletop Terror. Like, I finally realized what I've wanted us to be this whole time.
Yeah, for me, I feel like the newsletter, not the problem, but the problem has always been we have so many other avenues where it's so easy to create a dialogue that giving people something every week that is feels very one-sided. I don't think it ever really interested us as much. We've done it a couple times, and you've written them, and they're great, and people love them, but yeah, so hopefully we're going to get to do those a little bit more. I have the YouTube app, so let's see,
cool,
guys.
Sweet, so you can keep more up with the comments. So here's what we're doing.
Maybe.
Is, and we will, when it's ready, I will post a link in the comments of this video, but we are making our new newsletter is going to be called Mend the First Break. Okay, if you've been around for any length of time, you know we do a Tabtarian toast. It's a tabletop terrorist toast. That's one of the lines of the toast. And we thought it'd be really cool. Instead of coming out with a newsletter that is long-form article content, which I feel is a misfire. I see a lot of e-newsletters that I get, and I don't have time to read them. It's going to be short-form content that is more...
Are you sure there's a chat? Oh, hey, found it. Sorry.
There's more stuff you can use at your table when you get the newsletter. Okay? So I'll give you an example of one.
I'm back on chat duty. We gotta. I want to talk to these people. Okay.
All right. Well, I just let me finish here. Mend the first break because I want to make sure I get this point across. Right.
You can.
Oh. Well, yeah. I just want to explain what
we're so behind on this. These people are leaving because they can't.
They're not leaving. You're not. They
are. They're like, man, you guys are so 2017.
Well, I need to know if you think I should switch this to energy drinks or not. So the idea is, okay, mend the first break. Things to try in the next game. The first thing is always character mustard. Add something sweet or spicy to your character. The second thing is always Game Master hot sauce. Make your game more intense and flavorful. Your face couldn't belie you more.
Because I just want to read these, and you have a doc open with roll tables and all this.
Well, no, that's the newsletter. It's 2 roll tables.
I just want to say hi to Jeff Doty.
That's it. It's 2 roll tables. That's what the whole e-newsletter is going to be.
Don't tell me, tell him.
It's going to be 2 roll tables.
Guys, we don't know what it's going to be yet.
Something
We're
for
still
players.
On it.
This is coming out like next week. So whether
you got to sign up for it.
No, listen. It's going to be
How do they sign up for it?
That is a good question.
There's a link in the video description.
There will be.
There's not now.
It's not now. I should have done that. If you had your service, that's your function.
If I had my brain today.
I know.
My brain is full of rocks and someone else's thoughts.
You're giving me the boss eye.
I'm boss-eyedness.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, go ahead. Go back to the comments. So we're gonna have a new. We're gonna have a new e-newsletter called "Mend the First Break," which I think is
honestly,
cool.
I wanted to hear what people had to say about the comic, and you just glazed right past. You skated past it and didn't even look at the chat. Now, I don't even know what these people are talking about. This person's just learning to play D&D. Morgan is. That's awesome. Super cool. All Tim needs is a blue beard before he turns into a Durgan. He does already have the Scottish accent.
Aye.
Louis Games says, hey, Tim and James. Been a while. It has been a while for us. Thank you.
Longer than I realized.
Oh, man. So long.
Time
is that
goes by so
Watermelon
fast.
Rockstar? It absolutely is. What you looking at? Where can I find tech reviews? Not on this channel. You can
I don't know, but you should direct us to them because
you
our
should
tech
let me know where the cool tech reviews are. Will there be one this Tuesday coming up? That's important. Brett asked.
No, so it's going to start on the 16th.
16th.
It's going to start
February.
on the 16th because we're going to be hyping. No.
January. I'm being a dummy, and I don't want anybody to really think I'm saying that.
You turd pilferer.
Paleo Orthodoxy says he loves his. He or she loves our channel. Darius Jonah. Hello, you bearded stallions. Yes. All right.
What's going on? Yeah, we both are rocking beards. I'm going more Leonidas.
So there's another question, but it's a long one, and we're going to answer it after I see this other stuff. I'm getting to the comics. I expect to see people like WASD20 as characters in the comic. Absolutely, maybe you will. Obviously, we have to make sure he's okay with that, but I think he would be.
And the trick with writing, see, we know each other well enough so that we are okay with caricaturized versions that are jerks, because people who are nice to each other, that's not funny. So
yeah, most of the comics so far are not.
Yeah, it's us
to get laughs.
Each other.
Yeah,
yeah. So that'll be coming out. Maybe we'll do the webcomic this coming week and just kind of have that to kind of like get people ready for the video.
Maybe.
Videos. So maybe keep an eye out.
Jeff Doty says, man, this video is so 2017. I'm out of here.
D-O-T-Y.
Right.
You ain't got no alibi by Jeff Doty.
But Josh, yes, we hope to have other people in the comic, but like the main thing Tim said is other people, not only will we have to ask them, but we are going to tread lightly there so that we don't characterize someone that's like, oh, this is so-and-so, but, it's not really their name. We're going to try not to be insensitive in the comic.
What we will do, what I do want to do with the comic is bring in some archetypical people. So, like, there's going to be, like, the jerky elitist,
like
system
the guy you'd meet at the game store.
Like, who we've had around for a while that we tell you, hey guys, this is Stargazer 67. So like Stargazer 67 is going to be in the comic. We just haven't named him yet. I wanted to name him something totally different, like
Stargazer 67.
That you want to just name him that? Like
he goes by that at the game store.
No one knows his real name.
Yeah, it's like Jeff, is your mom coming to pick you up? It's Stargazer.
My name is Stargazer 67.
I can't do the voice right now. B Magyar says he got a real kick out of James's face when you said GM hot sauce. I do actually want to talk about that, but I wasn't the time. Sibling blaming at its best. C.A. Hollenbach, this made me laugh a lot, said, "What are we doing on Tuesday?" "I don't know, roll on the table." And that was funny.
That's funny.
Chris Johnson, "I'm late. Hi, everyone."
What's up, Chris?
Think Media TV is great for tech stuff. That's great. We'll have to check that out. Josh mentioned Shank Ranger. Probably has to be in the comics.
Shank Ranger.
Maybe one day we'll do like a long form, because these are going to be like, normal 3 kind of panel, funny, simple, easy comics.
Yep.
But maybe one day we'll do a long form 12 panel story of Shank Ranger, if you're lucky.
The origins of Shank Ranger. If you don't know, one of the people at our company, Absolute Tabletop, that was his first YouTube subscriber, Barker from Be a Better Game Master. And so that's why the name Shank Ranger has stayed around this long.
Yeah, they were the first person that subscribed. Barker didn't have any plans to make more videos, but somebody subscribed to him,
so then he was
possibly commented, and then disappeared forever.
Yeah. So if you're Shank Ranger, it's going to be the return of it'll be the return of Shank Ranger. And he's
going to be Obi-Wan to Abtab.
Shank Ranger never
more like Yoda.
No. He never saw the second video and was so disappointed at Barker that he became this dark
you're going dark with it.
Oh, dude, he's
bananas.
Like for Darkwing Duck, he's Negaduck. He's be a worse game master, and he's just like all from a misunderstanding.
Yeah, some dude is going to search his name years from now and say, "Why am I in a comic?" That's what Josh says.
Yeah, like, oh my god, that was my name.
We gotta put Locreus in the comic again. Like,
yeah, and it becomes tricky because to us it's funny, but you also have to understand that to the macro, that awesome personality that you and I know so well, they don't. So you really have to also set it up. So if you introduce a blue person into the comic, it's cool. Well, you could have like
I think more specifically,
the show Doug?
I think more specifically, the problem is if you come out with 12 a year, you don't have enough comics to, to sort of explain who Locreus is in order to make it make sense so that later it's funny. Yeah.
There's also
for now it's gonna be real.
You
simple.
come up with analogs. So there's a red alien rocker named like Bocreus.
Serious question in the chat. From, I don't know, a fistful of dice, I guess. Hey, I haven't received my copy of Oath yet. Where is it? This is not the right place to ask those kind of questions.
I don't even know what Oath is.
You can email trashcan@absolutetabletop.com.
Can you mail me money? You sound like a lucrative boy.
Ronald DeGroot asks, why not bring out your own D&D beverage? So I love the idea of one day
I love that.
having a Tabletop Terrors energy drink. From what I know, the reason companies like Red Bull and Rockstar have their own F1 teams is because the profit margins on energy drinks are just ridiculous. So yeah, maybe one day you'll see a limited run of a Tabletop Terrors energy drink.
So I think that's probably a good segue into the new Mend the First Break newsletter.
Okay.
So character mustard and game master hot sauce in each one. I almost did energy drinks, but I thought, how cool would it be to eventually have a Tabletop Terrors mustard and Tabletop Terrors hot sauce?
That would be cool.
So
hopefully those are further off than the energy drink.
So how in line with this are you? I mean,
I'm down. It sounds great.
I just thought it'd be cool to have. Well, I also asked Alexander in the notes.
It might be awesome. I don't know.
Well, I told him we need an awesome Tabletop Terrors mustard bottle and a hot sauce bottle, and so that's at the beginning and the end. So what? Are we done with the comic?
Are we done with the comic? Yeah, I'm just reading comics.
So what Mend the First Break is it's a weekly e-newsletter that is just a couple of roll tables, one thing for characters and one thing for players and one thing for game masters, adventurers and game masters. That's it. And then there's a couple links of like maybe some stuff we did, like a video or something cool to check out.
Matt says he just sent 437 via Western Union. Please put both Oath in the bush outside his house.
I super will. I will. I'll fold it real good, like a stupid mailman. Not like a smart one, but I'll fold it in half.
Stupid
and
mailman.
Just cram it in there. It's like...
Cram is such a dirty word.
See ya later, I guess. So...
Keep it rolling, buddy.
All right. So... More videos, a new e-newsletter, a webcomic. The next thing is tabletopterrors.com. I've always sort of not liked what our website was. It was just like sort of a flimsy carbon copy of all the stuff we were doing everywhere else. Basically. So instead, what I've done is we've got this brand new framework that we're going to put up this week. Talk to John Pintar, an artist we've worked with plenty. Talk to Jake Perez, an artist we've worked with. Talk to Andre Martinez. I'm going to talk with Alexander Kostic. Haven't talked to him yet about it. But basically, guys, can we use your art for our blog? All of them said yes. So instead of putting up all these placeholders, it's like, I want the blog to be a really cool place you can go to just get inspiration. So there are going to be articles, yes. But it's essentially going to be just a really cool place that you can go and see these roll tables. If you want to see maybe a different take on one of the books we've written, I'll pull a roll table out of there and say, here's how you can use this in a game. Just cool, interesting stuff so that when you go to tabletopterrors.com, it's going to be easy to navigate, look really good, but also just be stuff you can use at the table. That's really what I want it to be, is just a source of inspirational stuff.
Yeah.
Not really focus on long-form articles and all that stuff. That's just not our forte, and we don't have time to do that. So just crank out fun stuff so that you can go there weekly and just make it a destination that you're consistently visiting. So that's another big one. Tabletopterrors.com.
Another big one.
With some ballin' art from all the artists we work with.
Rob says, Tim, I told you a joke and you gave me naught but crickets. I scrolled up and I didn't see anything else from Rob, so I'm confused.
Did I read it?
No, because like I said, I scrolled up, I didn't see it. Morgan Han asked if we had ever been to a Comic-Con, and if so, which ones. I'm assuming they were asking us and not just the chat. I've been to San Diego Comic-Con. That's the only one I've been to. I've been to other conventions, but only that Comic-Con.
I have been to the Baimon Sci-Fi Con. Oh, so real quick plug.
Yep.
If you have Hulu, watch one of the latest episodes of The Simpsons. It was called The Surfsons, and it is just playing off of like Game of Thrones popularity. It's essentially just a bunch of inside Lord of the Rings, D&D, and Game of Thrones jokes, and I laughed a lot. So check it out.
I just want to tell Josh that retracting your message is so 2017.
This guy.
Chris Johnson, would you settle for a Tabletop Terrors cookie every day of the week?
Every day. Because, listen, Chris Johnson made Absolute Tabletop cookies with Carol Dunster. They were wonderful.
I couldn't bring myself to eat it, and then I lost it. Somebody else ate it, I bet. So Rob says, here we go. Please attend closely. So I think now's a good time to close the chat. Got him.
Yeah, buddy.
I asked a Frenchman if he plays video games. Want to know what he said? I do want to know what he said. We.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you what he's talking about here, to peek behind the Iron Curtain. I am in a chat for a game on the Performance Check channel called The Lore Keepers. Okay? So you need to check out the Performance Check channel. That's where Rob's from. You can click on him in the chat here. And he has a long-running game called Lore Keepers. Now, I was a part of that game last year. But due to scheduling, something cool happened, and he kind of put me in a state of limbo. But I'm still in the chat. So I see them talking weekly, daily sometimes. And you can see on Facebook Messenger when I've checked it, because my face appears at the bottom.
This is one of those stories where the length doesn't really match up to the...
You don't know the payoff.
The payoff?
You don't know.
I do.
Yeah,
because Rob clued us into the payoff.
So anyway, so I see this joke. Now, what I do is I feel dirty, like I'm just... I get to watch the chat, but I feel dirty if I just jump in after not having said something for literally 6 months and just do stuff. Now, I do it occasionally. And I've come so close to jumping into their game hangout. Like, before it starts, I've come inches from jumping in just to be like, what's up, guys, and then jump out. But I'm always afraid that they've already gone live and there's a delay. All of that to say, he said that joke in the Lore Keepers chat, and I was sitting in my car when I was reading it, and I laughed so hard. But I didn't want to say, ha 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 ha, because it was the first thing I would have said in months.
His response, Tim calms my ire with a free plug. I'm appeased.
Boom. And boom went the British Dynamite, which is known as T.
NT.
I didn't even
try to blow up Parliament.
Yeah, I didn't even try to set.
Josh says Tim is like a peeping Tom who comments. That's
okay. Brett
Morgan.
Craig. No.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
You're way up.
Well, yeah. Brett Craig says, "Hey guys, I'm running a game where my party are going to attack a Lich. Does anyone have a cool Lich fight idea?" Now, here's what I want to say too. Some of the things that we have tried to do in the past, but have never really had a good system of collecting the questions. We want to do Q&A. So if you have ideas for how I can aggregate and collect those questions without them getting lost in email or Facebook Messenger? Is there a simple way?
So I think there is, but we've never done like the simplest, the way we do AbTap support. You email tabletopterrors@gmail.com with a specific
subject line. That would be awesome.
If you don't do that, we'll never see it. But
so we have to decide what that subject line would be, because I would love to do, question and answers constantly. So I'm not going to answer that just yet because we have other stuff that I want to get to, but I will answer that before the end of the stream if you stick around.
It looks like Harry got a big kick out of your tea joke. He just said tea, and I don't know. I imagine that gave him a
audience.
Laugh.
There's my audience.
I got up earlier to get my copy of Oath. So Tim and I happen to live in the same place where our distribution house is, where I work right down the street from it. So when Oath first got shipped there, I got to go and pick up our copies. I didn't want to make anyone jealous, so I didn't post about it, but now I'm happy to say that we all have our copies of Oath, and it's very exciting. Just as exciting as when you got your copies of Oath.
Yes. So that is actually another good thing to talk about what we're doing in 2018. James and I have a campaign setting called Dragon Grin, and we're going to be kickstarting the campaign guide to our campaign world of Dragon Grin. It's going to be called A Dead Man's Guide to Dragon Grin. You're going to be seeing a lot of news on that now. We thought it was sort of bad taste to push that too heavily before we fully delivered on our last Kickstarter.
So this is Dead Man's Guide you're talking about?
Yes.
So, Jose, I'm sorry I skipped over your question earlier, but he asked, are you guys going to end up making a Dragon Grin campaign book like Matt Mercer did with Tal Darai?
Yes.
Which I meant to mention that we're going to get to that, but yes, that's what we're getting to now. We're doing a Dragon Grin book.
Yes. So to give you some quick updates on that, we have, I would say it's at least 50 to 60% written, and we're talking, we are shooting for a page count of under 320 pages, so we have set ourselves to a limit of being around the size of a 5th edition book.
Yeah. One of the core books.
One of the core books. So the biggest core book that you have is the Monster Manual in the 350 page range, and then the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide are a little smaller at around the 320 mark. Something in there. With that said, Barker and Matt are working on the test layout for the first region of the book, and this is going to give us the shape, but I am loving how this thing is coming out. Matt is actually working on that as we speak. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but Barker crushed it and put together this mock-up of what all the regions are going to look like in Dead Man's Guide, and we'll do a more in-depth video on that, but I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a huge book with tons of really useful information.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. That, and then the thing is, just like that book, nearly 300-page book, we don't want to make you guys just sit and wait. So we have at least one adventure kit on the docket. I think we want to shoot for 2 next year. Mm-hmm. No idea when or even what they'll be. Sorry, this year now. This year. Next year, 2019, guys, adventure kits.
Woo!
No, so this year, and as well as some prep deconstructed, some other cool stuff. So we're doing our best to sort of use everything we learned with Oath. We kind of know the process a lot better from beginning to end.
I'm sorry, I was just laughing because why do we have our headphones in?
I have no idea. I put mine in because you put yours.
We can't hear you
because we were testing.
We can't hear it. So I just thought of it, so I'm sorry. But yes, about the adventure kits.
That is a good reason to laugh.
Well, yeah. So, but about the adventure kits, the template is finished. So now it's about going in and filling the template. Matt and I have been working on one for our campaign setting of Gloam. Mm-hmm. I've been working on one that is sort of like an actual dungeon crawl, like not just Oath of the Frozen King, but like more of our version of like what a Tomb of Horrors might be.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking one of the ones I want to make sooner rather than later is a forest, like grassland sort of adventure.
Yeah.
I feel like 75% of D&D adventures take place in that kind of an area.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just thinking of like something cool that happens in a forested region. So I'm already writing some notes for that, making it something really interesting so that it's not just goblins in the forest. It's
exactly.
Like something killer.
Yeah. That's the beauty of having this template. Is a little different than beginning to end adventure module, both because people enjoy this style, hopefully because of the way it helps you prep, but also because you know what you and how much of what you need to write. Roughly.
Exactly.
We might change it up a little bit. We might throw one more of these, one fewer of these. But the idea being that it's a little easier to write when you have the circle drawn for you, as they say. All right, I need to come up with this many locations to make this work.
Exactly.
And it's just a little easier. So, again, the main thing being we're trying our best to get a lot more content out to you guys this year. Not just in the way of, all right, here's a new book every 6 months to a year.
Exactly.
We're like, all right, here's Prep Deconstructed.
Yep.
Here's a webcomic. Here's this, more Tabletop Terrors videos. Just a lot more from us.
Yeah. And so... so let's recap, because I know people are dropping in and out. We've got quite a few people watching, but the numbers going up and down. So what can you expect from Tabletop Terrors in 2018? We talked about Prep Deconstructed. So new short prep PDFs. They'll also be available in print, saddle stitched, kind of look like an old comic book. There will be more videos from us. There'll be a new e-newsletter. There will be a webcomic, and more supplements from Absolute Tabletop, as well as tabletopterrors.com being revamped to be more of a destination to just go and get some inspiration.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff, and that's what we've been working on. If you're wondering, hey, what's been happening? Why haven't you guys been posting videos? Well, the main reason is because we are not going to kickstart anything until it is almost finished, and we have been writing a campaign book.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little more than that, and we... I dare say, snuck in Weapon Master 2.
We super did.
That
so you had another book
exactly
for our publishing company, Absolute Tabletop.
Our plans, our schedules got messed up, but we still wanted to release it because we knew we already had this year planned mostly.
Right.
And we didn't want to do it over the holidays where we kind of gave ourselves a little time. So I also point to that as far as hey... That's the other reason. You know what I mean? I'm like, we were working real hard on
writing
all that stuff.
Dead Man's Guide to Dragon Grin, writing Weapon Master 2, which Barker did most of. For us, it was mostly editing and helping on
getting
the
a lot
process.
of exactly.
And then also making sure that after the Kickstarter was finished and the PDF for Oath was released, our job was only halfway done. Yeah. We still had a lot of logistics on the printing and making sure that everything was delivered properly. We had one address that was in Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just little things that you have to take your time to fix.
Exactly.
And I think we're done with a lot of that stuff now, so we can just focus on 2018.
A lot of what to look for in a new Kickstarter.
In fact, absolutely.
Yeah, that was one of the things. The reason we kickstarted Oath of the Frozen King was because we wanted to kickstart Dead Man's Guide, but we wanted to have a smaller, less, lower risk, potentially, Kickstarter first.
Yeah.
Obviously, Oath, far and away exceeded our expectations. It became something we did not expect, and that was amazing. But it taught us a lot, like Japanese addresses, or we had a problem with the printing company where they didn't get the books to the other people soon enough, and we were hoping you guys would get your books a couple weeks earlier. We're very happy that our shipping company stepped up and knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, they did.
The cool thing is they're used to dealing with hundreds of thousands. And so we had 800 books, and they're like, we'll get those done in a couple days. And people are getting them so fast.
Sounds good to me.
So that was really awesome. But yeah, we learned what things we need to look out for, and luckily we had done a lot of it already. So, as far as making a book and releasing a PDF, and that went so smoothly, it was amazing. But the logistics of printing and shipping were, at that volume, were interesting. We shipped some of our books already, but it's kind of automated, more or less.
Chris Johnson says, it was actually Marriage Chris that helped me decorate the cookies. I just want to give credit where it is due. I appreciate you doing that because Carol and Chris Johnson, for our convention, Absolute Tabletop Con, or AtCon, made the food, so I assumed that you guys did the cookies together.
Some stuff, yeah.
That's another thing. AtCon, we're going to be announcing more information about that shortly. At this point, we're still figuring out some logistics, but...
Yeah, you can expect that it will be roughly around the same time and possibly the same place, but we'll definitely have more...
Harry says, I still can't believe how quick my copy came. Yeah, I'm telling you, once the printer got the books finished and got them to our distributor, it was quick, super quick.
So
classy as could be, too. They sent us a Christmas card. It was really good. A hand-signed Christmas card, which is just a good touch. Morgan says, I can't reach the website. You have answered this, but I just want to make it clear. We've had a ton of visitors to the Tabletop Terrors website. I'm not sure when it started happening. I haven't been paying much attention to it, but we've just had people going there, and it's been maxing out our GoDaddy hosting.
Well, so let's get a little technical here. It was a WordPress site. right? WordPress is a common target for all kinds of spam and problems. And it's more likely that...
You're not going to cheapen this for me.
Well,
no, go ahead. No, it was fake people coming to our website. Tell the people. You tell them. It was bots.
It was.
It was Russian.
I deal with this at work all the time, and we found what we hope will be, you know. But
you're not going to cheapen this for me.
We've had that problem with so many WordPress websites, though.
Well, specifically,
I'm not saying a lot of people didn't go to the site.
No, it's fine.
But what I mean is for that kind of hosting, I'm like, if thousands of people came to the site.
See, but this is what you're not thinking of. 37,000 people.
How much it matters to you.
37,000 people in Russia love us.
Josh called me James, killer of dreams.
No, listen. Do you understand that this is how our ecosystem works?
It is.
But that's why it works. Do you understand that I'm like, oh, but James? And he's like, no, hold on, Tim.
Hold on there.
But it is right.
Because Tim's like, yeah, we're going to have that out this month. And I'm like, we haven't even talked about that yet.
Hey.
Tim's releasing Mustard without telling me.
I know. And
Josh says, okay, I now know why y'all are always chugging energy drinks. A lot of stuff on the table.
Yes. So let's also, I just want to finish the thought and basically say, you can't get to the website right now because it is 100% switching hosting. I was going to get it up yesterday, but the DNS hadn't pointed properly. It needed to aggregate for 24 hours.
Propagate
for 24 hours, and so I was unable to get everything up there. Honestly, the website delays is one of the reasons why we're not going to launch everything Tuesday the 9th and pushing it to Tuesday the 16th. But once the engine's up and running, we have a lot of content finished, so it's just about
in this analogy, the content is the gasoline.
Yes.
The energy drinks are the oil.
This microphone is the spark plug. I don't know why I did a terrible fakey Italian accent.
Really bad. Masonzilla, I've been gushing. Masonzilla, I've read that name like 4 times to make sure I didn't say it wrong. I've been gushing about Dragongrin to my friends forever. Glad to see it coming to light.
I'm sorry. Did you see Mornblade Gaming's comment?
Oh, no.
That sample PDF for Dead Man's Guide is called the Travel Brochure to Dragon.
Oh.
That is hilarious,
that is
Mornblade Gaming.
I did miss that. Jose said, I haven't got mine yet, but sadly I was not able to back it, so I pre-ordered. So one of the biggest lessons we learned about Kickstarter, and you getting your books, is that we decided to add the, what was it called, the diary, the production diary to the end of the book.
Yep.
We didn't consider that if we make something a Kickstarter exclusive, you need a completely different version of the book, and you need to do submit it again and get it printed. We gave ourselves a lot of trouble with that, so the pre-orders will be going out this month, and again, we'll be using the same shipper. It should be very quick once we get that, but they're still in the proving process to make sure we didn't mess anything up.
Basically, we had to take out the production diary because we promised that to people on the Kickstarter, and it would be bad form after the fact to give it to everybody.
So in the future, it's likely that we will not. We may still have production diary, but we're not going to make the book different.
Right. We've discussed making it its own separate little book. Or making it available digitally, or
something like that.
So we'll see what happens.
But so that was one of the big lessons we learned.
Exactly.
We are not going to make
2 versions
Dead
of the
Man's
book.
Guide different versions. Oh God.
It also, there's a lot of reasons, but what you're looking at says someone should make a campaign setting that takes place completely in a dungeon. The whole world is a dungeon crawl. So I don't know what Dungeon World is,
but I hope it's that.
So we have a framing device in Dragongrin that is essentially that. It's called the Wailing Grey. And due to a lot of reasons, but essentially when you die in Dragongrin, Limbo is like a super dungeon. And so if you wanted a setting like that, there's going to be a section in Dead Man's Guide where you could actually generate random dungeons forever. And essentially, if someone tries to resurrect you, they have to try to find you in that dungeon and pull your soul back up. Cliff's Notes. So, does anyone know of a good online tabletop platform, says Morgan. Man, Google Hangouts. I'm a theater of the mind person. Roll20 would be my choice if I had to use a virtual tabletop because their support is excellent. I know the community managers are excellent, and there's the most content for that I've seen.
I think it comes down to, there are a couple, I don't know how good they are, but there's Roll20, Fantasy Grounds is a thing, right? And then another one that's kind of a little more out there, but is cool, I've played board games with it, is a Tabletop Simulator. You can get it on your computer, you can also get it on, I got it on Steam. And you can do it, but we usually are kind of theater of the mind, so we tend to use Google Hangouts.
Right, or if we're not going to use Google Hangouts, we will use some sort of video chat like Skype or Zoom or etc., that kind of thing. We do owe somebody a Lich fight. I think we'll end the stream with that, just because there's more questions. So if you're still around, that'll be something we get to here. But yeah, so is there anything that's a red flag to you as far as any of that stuff?
All the work we got to do, that's kind of a big red flag. Man. So no, I think
the key is to make it.
The key is to make it.
So, weekly newsletter, which is relatively short. It's actually, like I said, should be manageable. I've been doing the kiss my fingers too much. Yeah. There's not enough good to merit that every time.
You just did it 3 times.
I know.
4 times.
I know.
As many
minutes. 5 times. 6 times.
Let me finish. 7 times.
So,
e-newsletter.
Yep.
Videos on Tuesday.
Right, which sounds
Church
good.
on Tuesday.
Sunday.
Is that a Sunday?
2 services.
No, was it Stone Temple Pilots song? Church on Wednesday. That's the name of the song. That's not part of this. I was trying to make a joke and it fell flat, if you couldn't tell.
Tabletop Terror's blog. And then Prep Deconstructed and
webcomic.
Yep.
Webcam comic. That doesn't sound
Which we'll format that. I mean, eventually we should probably make that a book too, I would think would be nice.
Yeah, the idea being we certainly wouldn't do it for 12, so unless we extremely bump up the volume, which if people love it and it's something that we can do, we might. But eventually those will absolutely be in a book because we're a publishing company and we kind of know how to do that. We'll just need more than 12.
And a lot of more short form, less produced content. You're just going to see just more of that stuff. When I have a thought, because I will see awesome posts in the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group and I will think, okay, here's my thought on that, but I won't have time to write it all out, and I'm not in a place where I can do a video, so I'm like, I'll do a video on that later, and I just won't ever do it. And we have so many video topics that we've already got in the hopper, so you're going to see more phone videos, more car videos, and things like that throughout the week, but if you were just interested in Tim and James doing our thing, that'll be on Tuesdays. Tabtarian Tuesdays is when our flagship videos are going to post.
Mornblade Gaming says, Tabletop Terror is coming into the new year with both guns blazing. And Brett Craig, who asked the question, responded to you, I didn't want to miss out, so I had to put the stream on my phone so I can move around and not miss out. Hashtag dedication.
Nice.
Now we have to come up with a really cool Lich fight.
So, Brett, you're still here. You're on your phone, so it might be difficult, but there are at least a couple of things I want to know. One, what level are the players roughly?
100.
And you could even say low, mid, or high. You don't have to give me the exact level of everybody. And then the other thing is, what is the general tone of the campaign? And is it like horror? Is it high adventure, low fantasy? And if you don't know, then just give me a brief 1 sentence. You don't have to type it, but just say, they are rogues who are, doing a heist, something so that we can have a general idea, because I think that a good game master matches the encounters to the tone of the game. James is peacing out again. Listen, all right, guys. So, like I said, 3 times a week, we're going to come out with 5 videos. He's gone now. I can do whatever I want. I don't know if you could hear him laughing. All right. C.A. Hollenbach says, what's your New Year's resolutions? So, I'm going to wait for James for that one.
To do any of these things we just promised.
to cash these checks.
To do a quarter to half of these things we just promised.
T the Writer is here. What's going on, man?
Write the tier.
T the Writer. I'm actually working with T the Writer. He's doing more in his web series. And I'm going to be doing some voice acting, which I'm pretty excited about. I've not done it yet. The due date isn't for a little while, but I've got some time. But check out T the Writer's YouTube channel. It's D&D stories. Dude can recount a D&D story with crazy detail, and I just love to have that on in the background. It's vicarious gaming.
His response to all of that, holy crap, your beard. Jose asks, any words of encouragement for people that would like to make their own supplements and can't wait for you guys to come out with new things, backing for sure. I think he means new stuff that he's going to back. But I read that. I didn't read that first, so that was my fault.
Well, so I think now would be... Well, we're going to do resolutions, but I'll quickly answer Jose and say any words of encouragement for people that would like to make their own supplements. As far as making your own supplement, the number one thing is to start. It is a huge undertaking. Honestly, just start writing something. Because that is the hardest part, is just starting.
And you know what I would do? And again, now we're getting to like specific tips. You probably don't have problems with this, but just starting. But then you're sitting there with a blank piece of paper in front of you. Okay, now what? I would get any book that you like. Specifically, I love adventure modules. I'd get an adventure module and just look at like the rough, like, okay, they start in a town and then there's this and they can do these 3 things. I would take that little thing and say, okay, they start in a town. What's my town? And I would just look at what details they give about the town and write my own. Literally just write an adventure module using the exact like format of something else that you like, a wizard book or a Paizo one or whatever.
Sure.
But just like the beginning, and you're like, all right, they got to fight 3 monsters. What monsters do I want? Make them up, or don't make them up, but just whatever stat blocks they have. You're like, all right, I need to figure this out. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, I want to change this, I want to do that, and I don't know, a couple of weeks later, a month later, you have an adventure module.
Yeah. And so, if I had to give you one piece of advice,
nobody can say that without me saying this next thing.
Okay.
Wear sunscreen. Every time. That's happened like 3 times in the last 2 weeks, and I'm like, no, I have to get this. This is a compulsion.
No, and I understand. I want you to, when you get an opportunity, I want you to Google when that song came out.
That doesn't matter. It's good
I know
all
that.
the time.
I know, and
it's
great...
not dated, because he didn't say many things in it that were dated.
He's like, and enjoy the film Armageddon. No, I'm just kidding. So, anyway, yes, that's true. The one piece of advice I would say is start small. Don't worry about writing an adventure module. Get your chops up by writing an encounter. Just write a 1-page encounter. Go to a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word doc or wherever, a blog post, wherever, a Facebook, and just don't do it on Facebook.
Stop listing places you should do it. Anywhere.
No, where
it
else?
doesn't matter.
What's in
the margins of a textbook?
Live journal.
Live journal.
Your
Joomla.
hair. Joomla.
I don't know what that is.
You do know what Joomla is.
I think it's a CMS.
No, yeah, basically. It's like Wix. But
not important.
Yeah, anyway.
I'm sorry.
So, start small. Write an encounter. 1 encounter. That's clear, relatively articulate, that you could give out. And in fact, I'll even say this. Jose, if you write an encounter, I will read through it for you. If you write an encounter, I'll read through it for you, and I will try to tell you what my... In fact, you could even share it in the Absolute Tabletop Facebook group, and I'm sure you'd get a lot of feedback. So
the best bet.
That would be it. Start. Jeff Doty.
So I was going to read that one.
Okay, you do it.
He says, Jose, you don't have everything ready before you start. I think he means don't need to have everything ready before you start. Even if your first couple of supplements are just well-formatted Google Docs, write stuff and release stuff, you can develop from there. You know what I want to say?
What?
I feel like Jeff Doty is like under the radar, like writing cool shit. He needs to start letting us in on that.
You can't say the S word or we'll be flagged for not suitable for all advertisers.
I don't think they know that I said that. I don't think anybody is going to listen this long.
No, YouTube's computer algorithm.
What if I say sheet?
There.
Oh, my honest compulsion was that I wanted to say it again to spite you.
I know.
But I didn't think about that. But I'm serious when I say that. But he has a point. I didn't know if you wanted to say something on that.
No. Yeah, I would say he's really good.
But then too, the writer asked a question.
Well, I was going to say, basically, Jeff said you don't have to have everything ready before you start. Even the first couple supplements can just be well-formatted Google Docs.
So, our first couple supplements.
Yeah, seriously. Write stuff and release stuff. You can develop it from there. The experience you get from actually doing it is paramount. I think that's super important. How did people find a way to subscribe to our newsletter? I didn't even know the website was up.
I don't think it is. Not important. We're okay. So Brett Craig did get back to us with more specifics, but I want to go on to the writer's question.
Yeah, and then we'll end with the Lich fight.
He says, I've heard your name mentioned as an editor. Are you a pro editor or as a profession, or are you the go-to guy at AT for finding mistakes around the office? So Matt is the editor, and that is actually his profession. He has a degree in English. I am an editor insofar as I edit things, and that's it. I guess I would be for hire/commission, but it's not a thing that I do professionally at all, except for at Absolute Tabletop, but not like Matt does, where he actually does it like he does freelance editing. So
actually, that is a fair point, which is I would direct you to Matt Click on Fiverr. Go to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and Matt Click, our Matt Click, is available for hire
Yeah.
to edit your work, and he has a super good page rate. That's your best bet, because of the four of us, Matt is the best actual professional editor.
Yeah, I'm more a jack of all trades guy. We all edit, but when Matt edits, you're like, oh, that was good.
Oh, that's a good edit. Yeah.
Boom. Oh, excuse me. Valiant Faye said simply, "Dat beard."
Dat beard toe.
So I have an idea for Brett. You should read what he said about what the situation he's in. Oh, okay, you want me to read it out loud?
Yeah.
4 players, level 10. They are hunting down the Lich to take his skull for a bargain they made. It's a mid to high magic world. They want to be heroes and fight gritty battles. They are attached to their characters, so I don't want to kill them. But if one character dies, I don't mind. That's a great outlook to have. Jeff Doty recommends Matt for editing. See, he's editing super secret stuff. Jeff Doty, you low key editor. I won't say the S word this time. But for giving him a cool Lich fight,
no,
I wanted to roll in this and make an encounter.
Okay.
Does that sound good? I mean,
that sounds really good.
That's cool, but I want
here's what I want to do. James is using our adventure kit, which is, you can get it at absolutetabletop.com, which has tons of encounters and scenarios. In the back of the book, there's something called a toolbox, and it has all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of cool stuff.
I want to frame it up specifically to show that a fight doesn't have to be mechanically difficult to be really cool, and that when you're fighting a big bad, one of the things you need to do is signal how powerful they are. So before James rolls on this encounter, one of the things that I want to say is, I want you to show the heroes how powerful this Lich is in a very specific way. I want you to, and you can get them there however you want to get them there.
Yeah.
Okay?
You can choose the method.
Right? But I would have them arrive at a village. Okay? And the village is empty. The only person there is a shaking sort of peasant kind of situation. You make whatever NPC, that's awesome. In fact, a great tip would be to bring back an NPC maybe they've already met, so that there's trust.
Especially if that is was a strong NPC.
Yep.
That's what we call
even better.
The beat up dwarf.
Yes, the beat up dwarf trope, which is, if you want to show someone's tough, beat up someone who's tough, and you'll say, oh, that person is tougher than the tough guy. In this case, what I'm trying to do is have this single NPC that's alive that basically then recounts to them that there was a powerful adventuring party that was killed here.
Yeah.
And they're
assuming
hunting.
You haven't already done this.
Sure, right. So the crux of the idea is that there are 4 skulls. And the Lich knows that the players are coming, and it was left there as a message for them. And it is these 4 adventurers that are as powerful or a little more powerful than your party. And he basically is saying, he's taunting them, saying, come and try to get my skull. Look what happened to them. And it's 4 adventurer skulls. And I don't know how gritty your game is, but you could have some ritualistic, sort of true detective, crazy, glyphy, kind of like town square.
Maybe he left a note that said, come at me, bro. You know.
Do you even Lich? And then you can reply, new phone, who Lich? So, but the idea is that, you know, you wander into the town square and it's just this crazy runic scrawls, these skulls, and you're describing this in a way that it is just horrifying. That I would do first, because it makes them afraid of the Lich. That is what is missing from most combats. You do something like that first, and then when they do fight him, there's a like, uh-oh. So that's what I would do, personally.
Tim's doing the pre.
Yeah, because I think that is one of the key elements to ratchet up the tension. If you just throw an encounter at them, it is not going to have the weight that you think it is, because the Lich is really scary in your mind, but is it scary in the players' minds? That's where we fall short as GMs a lot of times. What?
Okay, well, he just asked for an encounter, and I don't know. That's all great advice, but let's make an encounter.
That's what...
I mean, based on the time that we're supposed to end, you went pretty ham on not the question you were supposed to be answering.
I'm sorry, I care.
Sometimes I care too much.
Sometimes I care too much.
Okay, well, let's make an encounter. Instead of, I don't know. All right, so this is how you play D&D. This is what Tim would do. He teaches you how to play D&D first. So we want to make an encounter. We're going to roll on some of these roll tables to make encounters. We have terrain, features, and events here.
Let's write a roll table.
Let's write a roll table real quick. Let's take just, if you guys give us a couple minutes, we're going to write a mustard hot sauce lab. So the important thing is a lot of these are, because it's from the Frozen King, based around ice. Anywhere that I read ice stuff, we're going to skip or rescan. I don't know where yours is taking place, but we're going to try to make this evergreen. So, terrain. We're going to roll a d20 and see.
Yep.
18. So this is a nonsensical series of stairs and ladders. This is your MC Escher style labyrinth, like labyrinth style labyrinth, like from the movie, because they did it really cool in that. Where they're fighting. That may be kind of crazy for theater of the mind, but...
Well, I'll roll if you're reading. I want to be a part.
You're not allowed to be a part. You did your part.
Oh, you're sick!
Roll again. You touched it. I have other
Mom
d20.
touched it.
I only breathed on these once.
No, this is game science. I want to stick. My science
There's
my
one. You can
science
use
is
the
tight.
orange one. That's not sick.
All right. It's too late.
It is too late.
Right, anyway.
We've been together all day. So
You're
good luck.
not wrong. Okay.
All right, so roll another one and let's put them together maybe.
Yes, what I was just going to say is, I think that to make this Lich powerful, allow him to be able to transform the terrain like that.
Yeah.
What ability? Doesn't matter.
Transforming.
You made it up as a GM, and that's okay. He can do that. He can essentially conjure up this crazy series of nonsensical environments, because again, that's crazy. It's scary.
All right, so luckily Brett liked your idea of ratcheting up the tension, and so you were right. But... There. T the writer says, I wish I had a brother. You're not wrong. If Tim wasn't here or vice versa, none of this stuff would be nearly as cool.
It's true. You're coughing, I'm picking my ear. This is what 2018 is all about.
This is what an hour into a stream is all about. All right, roll. We're going to do another encounter just in case. Is that an 18?
13. 13.
Okay.
13. 13.
13. Floor carved into a giant topographical map. So again, this is kind of, this is a roll table entry, so if you didn't get that, the idea is the floor is sort of this large topographical map with the, it's carved. So the idea is it's very uneven terrain, but in the shape of maybe the surrounding area or a hilly area.
Yeah, so wherever this encounter takes place, the Lich is prepared, and he's summoning something. Whatever he's doing, this map has been carved into the ground using something called lithomancy, which is basically like moving rocks and carving things with your magic or your brain. And the area around it is warped and twisted into these crazy stairs and everything. Yeah. So it would be like if you have a regular location and then you smudged it in Photoshop. Like it's just this map appearing has like warped the terrain.
Exactly. All right, so feature.
Okay.
We'll maybe roll a couple of these, but this is just something cool to have around the area.
All right, so it's a 12.
So this one specifically is icy chains hanging from the ceiling. Again, if you're not in an icy area, chains hanging from the ceiling for whatever reason,
Exactly.
Let's roll another one and see.
Yeah.
Just give you an idea.
16.
Dilapidated siege weaponry. So, I mean, this could just be in the corners, depending on where this is taking place.
Sure.
You're going to kind of build. So when you mentioned that he was making the topographical map, I immediately went to, they tracked him down at this old, ancient museum kind of thing.
Sure.
So there's, siege weaponry all around, and some of it's covered by, old dusty sheets, and there's a topographical map area that's usually roped off, but you're fighting on it. I don't know. But
I'm
just
down.
stuff.
So, more of an archaeological, museum fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. All right. 11.
So what are we rolling for this one?
Just was rolling.
Okay, well, 11. Let's see what that is on here. Swinging bladed pendulum edged with razor-sharp icicles. Again, just cool stuff that's kind of happening.
Yeah, this is super from our Frozen thematic adventure.
We need 100. We need encounter events. We're going to roll a couple of these. So these are things that can happen during the encounter that will just be cool. Cool to happen, cool things you could reskin or change. And we're going to roll.
57. Like Heinz.
57. Frozen spires jut up from the ground.
That's awesome.
In this case, I mean, I think during this is encounter events. We talked the lithomancy stuff. So you're fighting. The characters are fighting. Maybe there's minions coming out, and as they're running around, just randomly. In your case, not icicles, but just stalactites.
Totally.
I never get them right, but I think tights because it's always backward. Whatever. These things are jutting up from the ground as they're fighting and making even more difficult terrain as it continues to shift.
So here's how I would do that. Because you already have so much going on, when the Lich hits half hit points or less, that's when that happens. Because you don't want so much going on that the players are confused or that you can't run it. So that right there is when the Lich hits half hit points or something, some kind of trigger like that, so that they know Okay, he's hurting. You can even say the Lich looks damaged. And he extends his bony arms and pulls at the air, and dark spires begin to jut from the ground. Give me a dex save, you know, something like that.
Lawrence Kemworthy says, guys, who's the younger brother? And I answered him. And it's funny because Josh said Matt, who is our other brother, who is between us.
And Thomas, who is our youngest brother.
But Lauren said, dang, Tim seems like the younger brother. More annoying. Sorry, Tim.
It's okay. It's true. Oh, it's definitely true.
And T the Writer asked about the physical copies of Frozen King. If you backed it, everybody should nearly have theirs. We talked about this earlier, but I'll just go over it real quick.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Pre-orders are going out this month.
Yes, so Kickstarter backers, I think everyone, but maybe...
They've all been shipped.
Yeah, but
it's
not
just a matter of
is,
getting
right.
it. Yes, they haven't received them.
Pre-order people who missed the Kickstarter will be getting them as soon as possible.
So yeah, Brett Craig said thank you. I mean, that's a lot of really cool ideas, and the best part is these are things we didn't even have to come up with. We just used those for the Frozen King for.
It's true. It's very, very true.
There is a bunch of other stuff in here, but it doesn't work as well for making a fight with the monster, because you can generate monsters. Maybe you can generate minions using that. Different things. We also have skill challenges.
There's a location. So there are encounters in the book. If you wanted to run any of these, one of them is specifically a fight with the Frozen King, who is the titular character here.
Which I think somebody mentioned earlier when he first asked. Somebody said, I think it was Harry, said, what about the Frozen King fight? Like, literally suggested that exact thing, where if you have Oath, you can do that.
Harry's always smarter than us.
Harry's always very smart.
But yeah, you're welcome.
Tim's life is a roll table.
Not untrue.
It's very true. Yeah.
Listen, ready? Actually, what am I going to eat for dinner? Stale chips.
Stale chips.
And that was rolling a 100. Can you imagine if I rolled less than that?
Oh, man. Luke the Goon. I got my copy of Oath a couple days ago. Does it ship to Ireland? It absolutely does. It ships anywhere in the world.
It does.
Just like we said earlier, if you submit your address in Japanese, we will have to contact you to ask you to translate it for us.
Yeah. Konnichiwa.
Because our shipping company does not know Japanese. Oh, T the Writer, I wasn't a Kickstarter backer. Yeah, we talked about the reason that happened. In the future, pre-orders will get there very, very, very shortly after other backers, Kickstarter backers, but we messed up this time.
Yeah, and again, they definitely are bad. Two guys, T and D&D. My accent makes me seem smarter, but I'm actually just a dumb... So here's the thing. The joke is that anyone with a British accent, immediately you add 20 points to their IQ.
Yeah, I just sound smarter.
Josh Bingham, still waiting for my copy to get here.
Hopefully soon. If you were a backer, you should have gotten an email to your Kickstarter email, the one you said you specified in your survey, with tracking information. So anyone that is still waiting on theirs, if they were a backer, should have tracking information.
Well, I was going to say I think the answer that Sean Connery would say is soon.
Is that you saying soon as Sean Connery?
Soon. Yeah, he always says SCH.
I know, but I think you need more. Oh boy, I think you need more words to really sell it.
No.
Well, I mean, it's to sell a Sean Connery.
No. Speaking of selling, Rob for Performances. Tim, have you ever been a salesman aside from your work with AbTab? The salesman delivery is an enviable quality when running games. You can reach anyone. So
Tim's been selling his BS his whole life.
I want to know what you mean by the salesman quality, like selling things to the players. Specifically, can you give me an example?
Well, that time you asked for money and they gave it to you, that's called a sale, buddy.
I was saying...
Don't be coy.
Hey, players.
My PayPal is...
Hey, guys. The answer, though, is yes. For many, many years, I have been in sales training. That is currently my occupation, is I train salespeople.
Yeah, I think Josh asked me that. We were on Discord the other night, and he asked me the same thing. He's like, I think it was Josh. It may have been someone else, but he was like, was Tim ever a salesman? And I said the same thing. I'm like, his job right now is to train people, train salesmen. So, he's got plenty of experience.
I do have plenty of experience, and the main thing is that training them in a way to not be like all the other salesmen and make it so that they listen and ask questions and so on. So, Totally got an experience. I got an XP.
XP.
I did it in the XP.
We did a content earlier.
Rob says, like you speak to a working Joe, you speak at their level. You're a chameleon amidst all people types. Well, thank you. I think. No. I like things explained to me very clearly and simply. even though sometimes I do want to get a little more florid and all that. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah. So yes to all above.
So I think that's the end of the live stream. But like you said, next week.
So the 16th, Tuesday the 16th is when all that stuff goes down.
So,
you're saying next week we should release Roll to Stabilize?
No, I was asking if next week was the 16th, but it's not because that's a couple days.
Yep.
So not this week. Okay, well.
Not Tuesday the 9th.
But Tuesday the 16th.
Tuesday the 16th is when all the Tabletop Terror stuff goes down. And the main reason is because I want everything functional at once, and the blog took longer, and I don't want to rush that.
Yeah.
So hopefully the DNS has propagated, and that I can upload all the, WordPress template and all that stuff and get it up and running. But thank you all for hanging out with us. There was a ton of people here, and I appreciate you. And James doesn't. I got myself so good.
I could tell.
Oh man, you know why? Because it was a last minute thing. I wasn't gonna really say that, and then I decided to do it. And so
I appreciate you all. I appreciate all of you except for Tim,
which is fair.
Which is fair.
Brother love. Nice to see you too, T the Writer. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We are gonna end the stream as we always do with the Tabtarian toast.
Oh, I don't know. It's been too long. What are the words? No, I know. Don't tell me. Do I start it? Maybe I don't remember.
You do.
I do start it, or I do remember.
I hope both.
Both? Okay. May you mend the first break.
May you kill the first snake.
And may you conquer everything you undertake.
Sláinte. Now I'm going to introduce you to the awkward closing of an XSplit stream.
So here, no, that's not the button. There is